Have you ever looked at the man lying beside you in the quiet aftermath of passion and asked your soul a terrifyingly simple question? Does he truly love you, or does he just want you? This question is not a whisper of insecurity. It is the roar of a woman awakening to her own value. It is the ultimate test, the line drawn in the sand between being a temporary conquest and being a permanent treasure. In a world that often confuses possession with devotion and hunger with heart, understanding this distinction is not just a skill, it is your crown. It is the foundational wisdom upon which a queen builds her empire of self-worth, ensuring that the man who kneels before her is worthy of her throne. Welcome back to Feminine Queen. I am here to speak directly to the sovereign woman within you, the one who refuses to settle for illusions, no matter how beautifully they are decorated. Today, we venture into the complex, often misunderstood territory of the male heart, but we do so with a master cartographer, the brilliant psychologist Carl Jung. His work peels back the layers of the human psyche, revealing the profound archetypes and unconscious drives that govern our connections. Together, we will uncover the 10 unmistakable signs that a man's feelings for you have transcended the fleeting fire of desire and settled into the eternal flame of genuine love. This journey is about sharpening your discernment so you can recognize a king when you see one, because you, my lady, are a feminine queen. Prepare yourself, because this is not about learning tricks to keep a man. It is about cultivating the wisdom to know which man is worth keeping. The insights we are about to explore are not just observations, they are mirrors. They will reflect not only his character, but also the standards you hold for yourself. What you permit, you promote. What you celebrate, you cultivate. As we delve into these signs, rooted in the deep psychological truths unearthed by Carl Jung, you will gain a clarity so profound that you will never again mistake a flicker of lust for the illuminating sun of love. You will learn to see beyond his words, beyond his actions, and into the very core of his intentions. 1. The alchemy of his gaze. There is a universe of difference between how a man looks at a woman he wants and how he looks at the woman he loves. A man driven by pure want or physical desire sees you as a stunning object, a masterpiece to be admired and, ultimately, possessed. His eyes scan your form, appreciating your beauty as one might appreciate a fine sculpture. It is an aesthetic appraisal, often intense, but ultimately superficial. He sees the surface, the captivating mask you present to the world. But the man who is truly in love with you engages in a different kind of seeing altogether. His gaze is not an assessment, it is an act of soulful recognition. He looks at you and sees not just a body, but a history, a future, a constellation of dreams, fears, and strengths. This is the kind of profound connection Carl Jung spoke of, where two souls meet beyond their social masks in a space of pure, unvarnished truth. When he looks at you, especially in those quiet, unguarded moments across a dinner table when you're lost in thought, or in the stillness after intimacy, you feel something more than admired. You feel witnessed. You feel understood without having to speak a single word. His gaze holds no judgment, no demand, only a deep, resonant seeing that says, I see all of you, and I am not going anywhere. You are a feminine queen, and you must learn to distinguish the gaze that consumes from the gaze that consecrates. The first seeks to own you, the second seeks only to know you. 2. The throne. He builds for your joy. In the realm of physical intimacy, a man's character is laid bare. A man who merely wants you centers the experience around the gratification of his own urges. His actions, while perhaps skilled, are ultimately a performance aimed at a singular goal, his own release. The rhythm is his, the pace is his, and your pleasure, if considered at all, is often a means to an end, a way to boost his ego or ensure the encounter happens again. He is a conqueror in the bedroom, taking what he needs and moving on. This is the transactional nature of lust, an exchange of energy that often leaves a woman feeling more like a participant in his fantasy than a cherished partner. A man who loves you, however, approaches intimacy not as a conqueror, but as a worshipper. He builds a throne for your joy and considers your pleasure the ultimate coronation of your time together. His focus shifts entirely from his own satisfaction to yours. He learns the unique language of your body, not through rote memorization, but through present, attentive exploration. Every touch, every kiss is a question, a gentle inquiry into what brings you delight. His patience is not a strategy, it is a form of reverence. As a feminine queen, you recognize this profound difference. You are not a vessel for his consumption, you are a sacred space to be honored. A man who truly loves you understands that his greatest triumph is not his own climax, but the genuine soul-shaking ecstasy he is privileged to give to you. 3. The sacred pause after passion. The moments immediately following intimacy are perhaps the most telling of all. This is the sacred pause where masks fall away and true intentions are revealed. A man who was only there for the physical act, driven by want, will often create distance almost immediately. His mission is accomplished. He might roll over, reach for his phone, or fill the silence with trivial chatter. The energetic connection is abruptly severed because, for him, the transaction is complete. His body may still be next to yours, but his spirit has already left the room. This emotional retreat is a clear sign that you were an objective, not a partner in a shared journey. Conversely, a man who is deeply in love with you sees the end of the physical act as the beginning of a deeper intimacy. This is when he pulls you closer, when his breathing syncs with yours, and when he holds you in a silence that is rich with connection and meaning. In this space, his body releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, but it is more than just biology at play. It is a spiritual and emotional anchoring. His presence says, without words, "This is where I belong, with you." He isn't rushing to the next thing because you are the thing. You, as a feminine queen, understand the immense value of this post-intimacy stillness. You do not settle for a man who treats you like an afterthought. You choose the man who understands that the truest form of intimacy is the quiet, profound communion that happens when the passion subsides, and all that remains is the simple, powerful truth of two souls at rest. 4. The unspoken dialogue of synchronicity. When you are physically intimate with a man, pay close attention to the rhythm and flow of your connection. Is it a clumsy, disjointed effort where one person is leading and the other is following, or is it a seamless, intuitive dance? When a man only wants you, the act can feel mechanical, a series of predictable moves. It might be technically proficient, but it lacks a soul. It's like two musicians playing from the same sheet music, but without listening to each other, resulting in a sound that is correct but lifeless. There is no real harmony, only a shared activity. A man who loves you connects with you on a much deeper, almost psychic level. This is where the concept of synchronicity, so central to Carl Jung's work, comes into play. It's more than just physical compatibility. It is a meaningful coincidence of energy and intent. Your bodies seem to move as one because your nervous systems are in a state of limbic resonance. They are literally attuning to one another. He anticipates what you need before you voice it, his touch landing exactly where you desire it. This is not guesswork. It is a profound, unspoken dialogue. As a feminine queen, you feel this difference in your very bones. Forced rhythm feels like a performance you have to endure, but this effortless, synchronous harmony feels like destiny. A man who can dance with you in this silent, intuitive language is not just a lover. He is a soul-level counterpart, a mirror reflecting your own energy back to you in a perfect, harmonious loop. 5. The courage of his vulnerability. Many men are taught from a young age to build walls around their hearts, to project an image of stoic, unshakable strength. A man who only wants to maintain a surface-level connection with you will keep these walls firmly in place. He might use humor, sarcasm, or an aloof persona as armor, deflecting any attempt at genuine emotional intimacy. He will rarely, if ever, speak of his fears, his deep-seated insecurities, or the wounds from his past. To do so would be to grant you power, to give you a glimpse behind the curtain of his carefully constructed masculine identity, and a man driven by want is unwilling to take that risk. But a man who truly loves you finds the courage to be vulnerable in your presence. He understands that true strength isn't about being impenetrable, it's about being authentic. He will share with you the stories that shaped him, the failures that taught him, and the quiet anxieties that still visit him in the night. This is what Carl Jung called integrating the shadow, the process of acknowledging and embracing the darker, hidden parts of one's own psyche. When a man does this with you, he is not being weak. He is offering you the highest form of trust. He is handing you the keys to his inner kingdom. You, as a feminine queen, are not attracted to the illusion of perfection. You are magnetized by the profound strength of a man who is brave enough to show you his beautiful human imperfections, knowing that in your presence his vulnerability will be seen not as a liability, but as a sacred offering. All right, my queens, you are the very soul of this movement here at Feminine Queen, and I am deeply grateful for the powerful energy you bring to this community. Your likes, your insightful comments, and your shares are what build this kingdom of wisdom, piece by piece. To keep this empowering energy flowing, and to ensure you never miss a chance to sharpen your crown, please take a moment to subscribe, activate that notification bell, and share this message with another queen who is ready to claim her power. Your support means more than you know, and I'll love you forever for it. Now let's proceed, because a queen must be ready to see the whole truth. 6. The ritual of emotional recall. Pay close attention to the small things a man remembers about you, for they are the true indicators of his heart's focus. A man driven by want might remember your favorite lingerie, or the things you do that please him physically, because his memory is cataloging data relevant to his own gratification. His focus is narrow, centered on the aspects of you that fulfill his desires. He may remember significant events, but he often misses the texture, the emotional nuance, the seemingly insignificant details that make up the fabric of who you are. A man who loves you, however, engages in what can be called the ritual of emotional recall. His mind and heart create an archive of your soul. He remembers the name of your childhood pet, the story behind a tiny scar, the specific way your eyes light up when you talk about your passions, or the exact blend of tea you drink when you're feeling down. These details are not trivia to him. They are sacred texts. He remembers them not through conscious effort, but because they have been absorbed into the very fiber of his being. The feminine queen knows that this is the critical difference between being admired and being truly cherished. His meticulous attention to the details of your inner world is not a form of flattery. It is an act of emotional archaeology, lovingly unearthing and preserving the precious artifacts that make you uniquely, irrevocably you. 7. The shield of his protection. The instinct to protect is primal in a man, but the way it manifests reveals whether he is driven by love or by ego. A man who simply wants you might display a possessive or controlling form of protection. He might get jealous easily or try to dictate who you see and what you do, framing it as caring for you. This is not true protection. It is an assertion of ownership. He is not guarding your well-being. He is guarding his access to you. His actions are rooted in his own insecurity and his fear of losing an object of his desire. A man who truly loves you protects you in a far more profound and meaningful way. His protection is not about controlling you, but about consecrating your peace. He becomes a shield for your emotional and mental well-being. He is the one who will calmly shut down a disrespectful comment aimed at you, who will refuse to engage in or listen to gossip about you, and who will consciously put his phone away and give you his undivided attention when you need to speak. This is Carl Jung's noble warrior archetype, activated in service of love, not ego. You, as a feminine queen, do not need a bodyguard to control your movements. You require a partner who understands that your serenity is the most precious jewel in your kingdom, and he guards it fiercely, not because he possesses you, but because he reveres you. 8. The altar of his apologies conflict is an inevitable part of any meaningful relationship, but the way a man handles its aftermath is a powerful litmus test of his character and the depth of his feelings. A man whose connection to you is shallow, or whose ego is fragile, will struggle intensely with apologizing. He will deflect, make excuses, rationalize his behavior, or even turn the blame back onto you. For him, an apology feels like a surrender, a loss of status. His pride is a brittle armor he is terrified to remove, and he would rather fracture the connection with you than risk the perceived humiliation of admitting he was wrong. In stark contrast, a man who is invested in you with his whole heart sees an apology not as a surrender, but as a sacred act of repair. He values the health of your relationship far more than the temporary satisfaction of his own ego. When he has wronged you, he will come to you with a genuine, heartfelt apology, one that is free of excuses and qualifications. He takes full ownership of his actions and their impact on you. The feminine queen understands this critical distinction. Love is not about achieving flawlessness, but about demonstrating unwavering accountability. His willingness to humble himself, to kneel at the altar of an apology, is not a sign of weakness. It is the definitive hallmark of an emotionally sovereign king, one who is worthy of standing beside your throne. 9. The Symphony of His Silence. In a world filled with noise, many people mistake talking for connection. Any man can fill the space with charming words, entertaining stories, and impressive monologues. A man who wants you will often do this, using his words as a tool to perform, persuade, and ultimately to get what he desires. He talks at you, but he doesn't truly listen. When you speak, he is often just waiting for his turn to talk again, formulating his next response rather than absorbing the meaning and emotion behind your words. The conversation is a tennis match, and his goal is to win the point. A man who loves you has mastered the art of listening. His silence is not empty. It is a rich, receptive space where your thoughts and feelings are given room to breathe and be fully heard. He listens not just to the words you say, but to the emotions, the hesitations, and the truths that lie between them. This is what psychologists call active listening, a practice Carl Jung saw as the essential bridge to connecting with the anima, the feminine essence within his own soul. When he listens to you in this way, he is not just hearing you, he is understanding you. You, as a feminine queen, are not interested in a man who simply hears your voice. You demand a partner who can comprehend your soul's symphony. His engaged, absorbent silence is not a void. It is the velvet-lined chamber where your truth is received, honored, and amplified. 10. The legacy of his plans. A man's timeline reveals his intentions. A man who only wants you lives in the short term. His plans with you revolve around the immediate future. This evening, this weekend, perhaps the next holiday. The future is a vague, misty concept that he rarely, if ever, discusses in concrete terms that include you. He uses words like I and me when talking about his long-term goals and dreams. You are a wonderful part of his present, but you are conspicuously absent from the blueprints of his future. This is because, in his mind, you are a temporary installation, not a permanent fixture. A man who truly loves you cannot imagine a future without you in it. His entire perception of time shifts to include you as a foundational element. He stops talking about my future and seamlessly begins talking about our future. He will discuss long-term plans, moving in together, traveling in a few years, building a life, a family or an empire with a natural ease. This isn't a calculated move to trap you. It's the organic and inevitable result of his heart recognizing you as its permanent home. As Carl Jung might suggest, your two individual paths have merged into a single, shared destiny in his psyche. You, as a feminine queen, do not need to beg for a commitment. You simply observe. You watch to see if he is building a temporary campsite or laying the foundation for a legacy, because his vision for the future is not just a promise. It is a prophecy of the life he intends to build with you as both his muse and his monarch. These signs are not a checklist to be mechanically ticked off. They are a lens through which you must view your connections. They are your ultimate test. The love a feminine queen accepts is not a game of chance or a lottery she hopes to win. It is a deliberate and conscious selection. You are the gatekeeper of your own heart, the sole arbiter of who is granted access to your magnificent inner world. These 10 signs, from the alchemy of his gaze to the legacy of his plans, are the tools of your discernment. Use them to separate the men who are merely dazzled by your light from the one who is willing to help you build a lighthouse. So I ask you now to reflect with radical honesty. Look at the connection you are in, or the one you are considering. Does he honor your pleasure as his own triumph? Does he have the courage to show you his scars? Does he listen to the symphony of your silence? Does he build blueprints for a future that has your name written all over it? Walk away, with grace and unwavering resolve, from anything less than a man who kisses your hand in public and your soul in private. The throne of your life is yours and yours alone. The only question that remains is, who is truly worthy to stand beside it? Thank you for joining us here at Feminine Queen. If this message resonated with the Queen within you, show your support by liking this video and sharing your own wisdom and experiences in the comments below. Your stories build this community into a formidable fortress of feminine strength. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to sharpen your discernment and deepen your power. This is more than a channel. It is a movement for women who know their worth. Remember this always. Your value is not determined by his attention, but by your own self-reverence. The greatest love story you will ever be a part of is the one you write with yourself. He is not the prize. A loving, respectful, and genuine partnership is the prize, and you are worthy of it. You are powerful, you are discerning, you are wise, you are a feminine queen,